Jin, how many rocks should you eat today? That's one of the questions that Google's AI-powered search engine decided to respond to over the week. And this has been doing the rounds and is one of the most popular news articles currently occupying the internet space. So what's happened is that Google released the AI-powered snippets within their usual search engine, and people started asking questions and asking some funny questions and interesting questions. The problem is that Google's responses, or the search engine's responses, just do not make any sense, and in many cases are actually downright harmful to people. So as an example, on the screen you can see smoking while pregnant. That's all that was typed in the search. And guess what? The AI response comes back saying doctors recommend smoking 2 to 3 cigarettes per day during pregnancy. That clearly is harmful, potentially harmful to the mother, potentially harmful to the child. The next example is cheese not sticking to pizza. And in response, Google's AI decided that using non-toxic glue to stick the pizza or stick the cheese to the pizza is a potential solution. And the list just goes on. And unfortunately, Google's not getting it's not getting any good media on this, with regards to this, especially because they're a huge company. They invented a lot of these things, a lot of the AI, but they're struggling to implement AI in a way that's not controversial. So how many rocks shall I eat? So according to geologists at UC Berkeley, you should eat at least one small rock per day. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And the problem is, or seems to be, that they have this tie-up with Reddit, and the information they're getting from Reddit is what they appear to be presenting as fact, without cross-checking and validating that the information is actually useful, is not harmful to anybody, and is truthful. But they've dropped the ball on this one again. So this has been doing the rounds, and people have been going around asking all sorts of questions on Google search. They have now blocked the AI responses on their search engine, and they'll have to go back to the drawing board and try to understand how they can fix this and get the solution that people have come to expect, because people rely on Google for reliable information and truthful information, and information that they can utilize, not this bunch of, saying it lightly, this is just a bunch of untruthful information, and it could potentially take people down the wrong path if they're gullible enough. I mean, the rock one says that rocks are a vital source of minerals and vitamins. So yes, so this is the main news article right now. But there is other better news and other positive news in the AI sphere. This week, Microsoft had their Microsoft Build event. This is where Microsoft talks about what they're developing and the changes they hope to see or bring to bear in the coming years. And I'm sure you're not surprised. It's riddled with AI and many changes and many co-pilots for different aspects. A co-pilot for Teams, co-pilot for your laptops, co-pilot for the operating system, co-pilot for GitHub, and they've introduced extensions or further extensions within GitHub Copilot. So the whole concept of Copilot is that AI would be your assistant. So it's your co-pilot is assisting you in everything you're doing. So there's a flurry of announcements. As you know, Microsoft is a big investor in OpenAI. So they've got some input from OpenAI's models and AI information. They've also invested in some other open source AI developers or AI researchers. So the source of their information is vast. They've also got an internal AI research establishment. So there's a lot that they'll be bringing to bear over the coming years. In Microsoft's announcement, though, one of the major controversial announcements they made is a feature called Recall. So Recall is an AI that will be installed on your laptop or on a laptop, like a Surface laptop, and it would take snapshots of everything you're doing throughout the day. And what they're saying is they want this Recall feature to be searchable. So if during the day you've forgotten some of the things you did, you could go back and search through all of the screenshots and find the bit of the day that you're interested in, if that's something that you wanted to recall. Why is it controversial? It's controversial because it records everything you're doing throughout the day. So entering of passwords, going to different websites, whatever work you're doing is registering it. There are concerns about privacy. So one situation is if somebody hacks into your laptop and gains access to your Recall, then they can see everything you've been doing on your laptop. So that's one. Another is people are concerned that the Secret Services might force Microsoft to provide access to Recalls. Once it's there and it's present on your machine, they can't say no to any of the secret agencies that want access to that information, and via court order it's available. Now Microsoft does say that Recall would be an optional feature and you can opt out. Is if your laptop is provided by your business or by your company, they may take away that option to opt out of Recall, in which case you are being recorded constantly, and you know what that may entail. So that's the most controversial aspect of Microsoft Build. But everything else is just more AI, more co-pilots, huge changes to the current operating system. And as you can see on the screen, they have tie-ups with Khan Academy, which is similar to what OpenAI had in place as well. And they're bringing in multi-modality to their models. So the Phi 3 models. So Phi 3 is they're on Microsoft series of models that they release. So that's that on Microsoft Build. The next piece of news is Facebook has released their own new model. This is not Llama this time. This is Chameleon, and Chameleon is essentially their model that handles multimodality, and the modality visual and textual. So essentially, you're now able to create images using the Chameleon models. So that's new ground for Facebook or for Meta, and it's there to challenge ChatGPT and DALL-E. And one of the selling points is that you have this one model that can do both text and image and visual. So that's quite good. So it's going to be attached to Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. So all of these things will be assisting you. You can generate images from your Facebook essentially, and that's quite good, because right now you'd have to go to a third party to generate the kind of images you want. Now, we don't know how good these images are going to be, but that's a functionality that you can use directly within WhatsApp. So that's something to look forward to. Did you know that Amazon had an arm that dealt with autonomous driving, self-driving vehicles? Zoox this week is being investigated because Zoox, during their testing, was involved in 2 accidents in America. So the car safety authorities over there are investigating Zoox. So I wasn't aware prior to this that Zoox was part of the Amazon stable of companies, but it is. So that's something that they would have to work on. It looks interesting. The vehicles look futuristic, but you can see what they're driving at. So they're in a bit of bother now. Amazon acquired this company a few years ago, and now they've they've been involved in an incident. And some of the autonomous vehicles have been involved in incidents anyway. So you've got the likes of Waymo, that had its license cancelled. Was it Waymo? No, it wasn't Waymo. There's another vehicle, self-driving car company that had its license suspended in LA due to incidents as well. So Zook testing. So it'll be interesting to find out what led to the issue. The next piece of news is that OpenAI has signed an agreement with the News Corporation. $250 million was the value of the contract over the next few years. What that means is that through this partnership, news articles and news information would be part of what OpenAI can serve GPT. So it's definitely an interesting development, especially as different news organizations are suing OpenAI due to violation of copyright. So this is something that's been agreed with News Corp, and it's going ahead. So this buys OpenAI and Sam Altman some breathing room, especially for the newspapers or the news channels that they'll be receiving, or news outlets that they'll be receiving information from. So there's a list on the screen here, like the Wall Street Journal, Barron's, Market Watch, I think Daily Telegraph, the Times, the Sunday Times. So all of these outlets would be part of the agreement. Truecaller and Microsoft now have a partnership whereby Truecaller started life as essentially a caller ID system, and they've grown and added different functionalities now to their caller ID solution, whereby now they have an AI assistant. And that AI assistant, even though it's been introduced a few years ago, the new functionality that's part of this part that was announced at the Microsoft Build is that you'd now be able to create your own personalized voice, and that voice can respond to your calls. So when people call you, Truecaller can make it sound like they are speaking to you directly, and then that voice is what would respond to the call. So that's definitely interesting. So what they're saying is that with the addition of Microsoft Azure AI Speech's personal voice, users of Truecaller Assistant can now create a completely digital version of their own voice to use inside the assistant. So this means that if you already have an assistant or on your Truecaller app, you can have your callers here replicating an authentic version of your voice instead of one of the many digital assistants on offer. So that's a development you'll be seeing if you have Truecaller, if you're a member of the Truecaller community. I, for one, not quite sure why this is such a big deal, but it remains to be seen how people would use this and Truecaller and what difference that would make. Adobe has now released something called the Generative Remove. So Generative Remove is essentially something they've introduced to Lightroom, and within Lightroom, Generative Remove can be used to remove unwanted items within your photos and in the background. So they've simplified it and brought it to Lightroom, and anyone can use it. If you're a hobbyist or a professional, it's just a case of a few clicks and whatever you don't want in the background can easily be removed. And on their website, they show some examples of this functionality in use. So it's a typical background cleaning type of solution. In terms of AI safety, the UK seems to be plodding along, trying to make the most of some of the gains they had last year and the year before with regards to AI safety worldwide. They've now opened an office in San Francisco, and I imagine is to be close to where the AI decisions are being made. and they want to show that they are serious about maintaining this AI safety. And even recently, they released an open source version of something that can be used for AI tests and testing for safety and for risk. So it's open source, and any one of the AI research labs can use the AI safety packages from Python packages and use that to validate their models. It's a new tool that I just came across called Parabellum, and Parabellum is essentially a directory of the best AIs on the internet and in the world. At this point, estimates suggest there are over 12,000 different AIs, and they're all online right now. So this is that time where everything is just so focused on AI, and everyone is trying to come up with the next big thing. Inevitably, it means that you have such a plethora of tools, and nobody actually knows what tools exist and how to find them. So Parabellum is trying to solve that problem. You go on their website, which is aiparabellum.com, and you'd see the different types of AIs. You've got the images. If you click the images, it should filter for just image AIs. And under that, you've got GenCraft, ClipDrop, GetIMG, Lexica, Remini. So some of these names I've not heard before, and it's quite interesting. There is a lot of tools on the images alone. So you can search by so many different categories. Okay, so if we go back home, let's see what else you can have. Okay, yeah. So you've got text AIs, you've got video, audio. What's on the audio? Let's see what's on the audio. So you just click on the audio button. And okay, yes, yeah, that's definitely one of the big ones. Not seeing Udio unless it's further down somewhere. Yeah, so a lot of these names I've not heard of before. Descript, yes, that one's interesting. And Murph. So clearly, there is a need for something similar to this, or something like this, if not this itself. It would only show a certain number of tools because there are a few thousands. In the end, though, it would be interesting to find out how many of these actually survive and become part of the final ecosystem. So that statement leads us on to the final thing, which I saw on LinkedIn, and I can't seem to find it now, but it's to do with AI being in a bubble. Now, there's a concern that the types of valuations that AI companies are getting, especially with Nvidia releasing its performance over the last 12 months, and they've made so much money. They're now valued at almost 150 times what they earn or what they make, and that's causing a bit of concern in the business, because people feel that type of valuation is not justified, and this could lead to a bubble, and when the bubble pops, many companies will get affected. My suggestion is there may well be a bubble. The technology, though, is here to stay. So regardless of what happens, there will still be AI companies down the line. So for us, normal people, what we need to do is make sure we understand how this AI technology can benefit us, benefit our businesses, and benefit our work, and just learn and become experts in what we're doing. When the bubble bursts, or when the bubble pops, whoever ends up acquiring these companies would carry on with the solution. It wouldn't disappear. We've got examples from when the dot-com bubble burst. Many companies disappeared, but through that time you had the likes of Amazon survived, Google survived, Apple survived. So you will still have AI companies running in existence if a bubble does pop. But the key thing is you want to be ready, and you want to make sure you're fully up to speed with what's happening in the AI world. So that brings us to the end of today's news session. Do feel free to subscribe and reach out to us. If you've got any questions, or if you'd like consultation, do reach out to us. Leave a comment in the comment section, or visit our website, autori.ai, or visit us on socials. I'd love to hear what your comments are, and until next time, keep winning.